Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing, spectacular Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off you to a glorious 1v1 on Langraskaya. In the north, it is Eisernes Kreuz, fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Here rolling out with the 1st Armored Division here with airborne, recon support, and tactical support company. The triple infantry versus south, it is Iroha, fighting for the Oberkommando Germany, Deutschland. Here taking on the role of the 9th Panzer Division with Grand Defense, Overwatch, and Elite Armor. Triple infantry for him as well, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my paid supporters, these champions, these heroes of the Propagandacaster here in the business, and without them, I wouldn't have to keep doing this, so, big thanks to them. You too can support the effort by pledging on Patreon or donating via PayPal. Links in the description. And also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. So, Kubwagen full to start here for Iroha versus Zabrav start there for Eisernes Kreuz. So now with the infantry, the Kubelwagen has started to become more popular again in Oberkommando West builds, being able to fairly decently allowing to get more territory in the early game, but also provide a fair amount of support for the infantry in certain engagement in a more mobile and rapid manner. Plus, of course, it looks stylish. Yeah. Brav's got moving force there, Eisernes Kreuz, spotting the Kubwagen opening up on it. Shots fired there, punching through the doors of the car. Third Brav's got there for Eisernes Kreuz, western point being secured here. Basically, at this point, what he's doing with the Kubelwagen, he's threatening the car point. He's forcing Eisernes Kreuz, like constantly leaving someone to defend it, or the Kubelwagen will just rush in and grab it. So that creates a bit of the pressure on Eisernes Kreuz, makes things slightly more awkward for him. So bit sneaky there by Iroha, bit sneaky. Second full squad almost done there. So far, just, fairly infantry-focused strategies as always in the early game. Not there's much else to immediately go for. Full moving forwards here. Sandbags briefly considered, then stopped, and there goes shots fired here. Second squad there ready. All quiet so far, as always otherwise. Sturmpuny a bit of barbed wire in the wooden cart. Can't have those Americans hauling it off. Very quiet here. Sandbags being attempted again there. Neither side really looking to clash with the other one until they feel they are ready. Truck on the way for Iroha. Fairly early truck, likely going to be elite armor, which again has become very much the primary meta game here, partly because the 2-to-1 in the early game is just very efficient. But of course, heat shells are good. The Sturm 2 currently is also fairly good. Panther Command and emergency repairs is good. It's just, a flat-out good doctrine that offers something early, mid, and late game. Which typically, in addition, I think it's also crucial to mention, it's not like advanced things it's offering. It's like it's very straightforward abilities it's offering early, mid, late game, which is one reason it could be considered very popular. Though so far he's not going for it. So maybe it's Overwatch after all, or could be a surprise grand offensive. But in terms of just what these three doctrines offer, Elite Armor is just, popular because like motor, it's, fairly easy to use while also being flexible. Forces Rav Scorch there, being some bled out. They'll be able to Kubam moving in there. Sturmpuny on the left flank, he could threaten the car point here. Eisernes Kreuz looking to hammer his way here for the German centre with a lot of raw force. This is where Graveyard, of course, had an MD-34, flak half deck or something else, but obviously no such sound of that. Here in the Rav Scorch, the reaction is just unloading a ton of lead into the German position. We're trying to do the same, but just can't quite match the sheer volume of firepower the Americans got there. Kuvanos gaining veterans 1 there, 2 kills added, but the folks is dropping like ripe apples. I'm about to say potatoes, but potatoes don't grow in trees. Unless you're mushrooms. But at that point, you got bigger issues. Battle Group headquarters there being upgraded. MD fed from there for Iroha to help deal with those attacks. But AMC here, the flank on the car point. Good maneuver there. But this time, the Eisernes Kreuz Lieutenant is ready. Heavy fighting here going with the assault rifles. Beat Thompson's, Garand's, all the shots there, all the corpses. And the Sturm Pioneers pull through. But now, of course, things are a bit more dicey for Iroha. Since right now, Eisernes Kreuz could either push for the car point or could swing back and then can actually threaten the Sturm Pioneers on the retreat here. And this is actually, I think, dangerous then for Iroha. Sturm Pioneers, since losing them early on, would definitely be a significant win for Eisernes Kreuz and America. Kuban rushing forwards again, he heavily damaged, 4 kills, slowly approaching Meta 2 actually. And the Forza Round Sport here as well needs to pull back the Kuban to safety. 5 kills on it actually, 5. And there we go. Might see that flak half tag. I still no doctrine, so I mean it could still be elite armor. Some players go for it early on, most in fact do, but you still see some going for later on. Could be again Overwatch. It could be, I suppose, Grand Offensive, but that one becomes a little less likely as time goes on. And we got Eisernes Kreuz, not just the lieutenant, but the captain. Increasing chances, probably either recon support or tactical support. So as most players who go for both of those typically then go for either these two because they can then use the light vehicles offered instead of upgrading either to the mechanized command posts. You just go for the light vehicle from the docks and then push straight ahead for the medium armor. So a lot of considerations there. The recon support, in my experience, tend to be more popular because you can use the air drop combat group to then get the pack outs as well. And you turn around, you've got the push here. Just heavy fighting here as Iroha is trying to turn a tide here on Eisernes Kreuz, but Eisernes Kreuz is, as always, a tough opponent here and he's refusing that to happen. Kuban moving forward here, very, very close to the T2 there. Sturmpunier, and there you go, that T2 getting the Kugelwagen. Not that it really adds anything to the direct combat prowess, but it gets closer where it actually matters, I guess. Ambulance the way the Eisernes Kreuz, flak half-tech for Iroha. Both players still not popping that doctoral button. 6 kills in the Kugelwagen. Veteran T2, Sturmpunier with 6 kills as well. The captain suffering extensive losses. In fact, down to just one man who's forced to retreat, leaving his friend to die in the dirt. Western victory points east there by Eisernes Kreuz. Flak half-tech almost on for Iroha. Being hit with the infantry. Kuban providing covering fire there as well as supporting fire. 7 kills, South HV. I mean, Iroha is definitely leveraging this Kugelwagen quite well, I'd say. And we go, flak half take out for Iroha, the 251-17. Western pump shoots the mighty rear echelons. And there you go, we do get tactical support, meaning light machine guns. M5 half tech could then be chosen for the quarter mounted, obviously. P47 recon runs, strafing runs, and the Calliope. So we'll have to see how much he actually makes use of the different things. But calling anti-aircraft half-track could be a big problem there for Iroha, though of course having his own flak half-track does help a bunch. Make no mistake. Eisernes Kreuz will like to respond with an anti-tank himself sooner. Nope, we do get light machine guns, so likely he is in fact just intending to not bother with the anti-aircraft. Also worth noting he's actually upgraded the captain with as well, so on top of the BAR he has the light machine gun there. So that gives the captain a lot of firepower. It's going to be a challenge there for those infantry at mid to long ranges. Jürgen there drops dead. Flak applying fast support, and that's going to force Eisernes Kreuz to have to go for the anti-tank gun because, well, his light machine guns won't cut it at all here versus the 251-17. Ground most important, the Kugelwagen. Bezel going now in the background. There you go. We do get overwatch here for Iroha. Not quite as popular as it used to be, but still popular. Jaeger's called in there. Adding the G43. Bezel going meow. Because he likes to go meow when he wants attention. Yeah, you want attention, Bezel, don't you? Possibly also food. His calls for both sound awfully similar. Anti-tank and on the fastest Eisernes Kreuz expecting in the face of the 251-17. Flak Panzerwagen, forces being absolutely focused on themselves, so you need to retreat them. Captain being bled out. MD-54 on the center dealing with the Americana there. Worth noting, both sides are focusing heavily more around the center. There's not, for example, been any major maneuvers, for example, on harassing the other player's fuel point, or trying to outmaneuver as much. There's obviously been a bit from Iroha, but compared to Eisernes Kreuz, hasn't been quite, I think, been looking to switch the flow of the battle by, for example, trying to hit some of the other sides of the map there. Obviously, now with the flak half-track out, that becomes a lot more difficult. Kugelwagen also using the detection, half 8 of FT3, really doing well with that Kugelwagen. Obviously, it's sharing experience with troops around it, does mean using it to support troops can quite there fast. There's really only FT4 and FT5 that can get something that you boost its combat ability in right here, loses track of things. And you then see why most players never get a Kugelwagen to the high levels of veterans. It's not because they technically can't get there, it's just at some point they forget about it and then it gets destroyed. Or they do something incredibly stupid with it and it gets destroyed. These are the two primary causes of people never getting a Kugelwagen beyond Veterancy 2. They just forget about it or they get cocky with it. In this case, it's forgetfulness. Because again, with the shared experience bonus, it can actually get there fairly fast. It's just, for some reason, as soon as it gets to Veterancy 2, people just I don't know, start treating it like it's a tank when it's still a Kugelwagen. Okay, now we get the half-track out. He fires this Kreuz. Is he planning quarter mount? Is he just planning to use it to, like, you know, support his infantry? That would be interesting. Note the Americans themselves did not make great use of the M5 half-track. They preferred the M3 half-track since it had better overall protection in terms of armor. They just handed over the M5, in fact, to the British, to the Soviets, and anyone else. Both things focused down with the captain and lieutenant there, both equipped with bars and light machine guns. Well, light machines and lieutenant bars there. Flak half-tactics from the M1 anti-tank gun, punching straight through. Second shot kicks up a lot of dirt, but no German munitions. Lieutenant here popping through into the building and surrounded. Brandhand granate being flung through the windows, lighting the kitchen on fire. Hey Hank, it's like that time you tried to make toast. Shut up, Lawrence. It's not like that one time I tried to make toast. I burned up the dining room. Browse moving forwards here. Have to pushing forwards here, supporting the troops, allowing to reinforce the front line. Thumbs up there to Eisernes Kreuz. Some actual American mechanized infantry tactics. That's really rare unless you like dealing with Twisted Tutsi. And even then, that's most like, you know, mechanized bazooka infantry tactics. Oh, well, quarter mount anyways. You know, there's a brief glimmer of hope there. Brief glimmer of hope. But oh well, I mean, the quarter mount is obviously really, really good. So, you know, I understand why, but I mean, mechanized infantry would have been pretty good too. Oh, sorry about that. Bit late here, bit tired. West side here, Sturmpeter backed up at the flak half-tech, mentioned 1 full kills, but now you can see Eisernes Kreuz taking control most of the map here, though inch enough, not trying to like push the fuel. There you go, Orbs are not here, but the 300 quarters, suppressed though by the anti-aircraft half-tech, the 4 50 cal machine guns just tearing through the Germans, a torrent of lead going above their heads, and occasionally through someone's head. Looking for the south here, MD-34 into now piercing rounds. Connected to do some decent damage to the half-track, but you know, getting focused down by all this very much means it should get the hell out of there. Eisernes Kreuz just keeping up the pressure versus Iroha. Schwer padded cores could be in the danger zone if like he brings the anti-tankers in close enough. And it's of course worth noting Iroha currently has no Raketen map because he wasn't expecting this. Because most American players, you know, never bother with it. But again, well executed, this kind of strategy that Eisernes Kreuz is currently running can be quite effective, as you're noticing. Though it is worth noting we haven't seen any 5th kills or any tech. In fact, you could probably get away with some tech now. And try and set up for a fairly aggressive Sherman here versus the Germans. Troops sitting out there from Iroha's base. Flak after their 4 kills close to Veterinary 2. Veterinary 2 is where things get exciting for the flak half track as it gets a damage bonus. And attack their Eisernes Kreuz, very good. Captain holding up against the German assault here, half-tech joining in the front, of course, tearing into the German infantry where Iroha is, for whatever reason, just bunching up his troops and charging head-on. A nice, big target pattern for the Americans to shoot down. Not necessarily the best tactical approach, in particular when the opponent has an anti-aircraft half-track. Anti-tank, but anti-aircraft, yeah. Did it say anti-aircraft? Oh well. Oh, it is worth noting one of the first American tank destroyers was in fact and half-tech with an anti-tank gun mounted on its back. Fun fact. It was that, and before that it was actually Jeep with an anti-tank gun mounted in the backwards. Straight to the flag half-tech of the rifle squad. Damaged engine there of Northish Doom Points using the point, half to forward, especially 2 gained. Big push again here. You'll have relying a lot there in swarm infantry tactics against Eisernes Kreuz. Honestly, getting a 50 cal wouldn't be a half bad choice to sort of help deal with these things for Eisernes Kreuz. Mortars, though, could also be an idea here. Though, of course, he might be planning eventually a Calliope to just use the old rocket shotgun approach. For now, though, Shermans would be good idea of high explosive shells, even Scots, but I think you should go for Sherman. We'll see, of course, what Eisernes Kreuz actually goes for. Meanwhile, Iroha is still some time away from the Panzer IV here. Sandbags up there, troops being shot by the Oberstleutnant, the Jägers, and the Volksgrenadiere. Eisernes Kreuz, there we go. Going for the Jackson. Okay. I mean, it's not like his opponent's got a lot of armor out in the field in the first place, and so nothing like heavier. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously we know that Iroha's still not close to Pentaforce, which obviously from our perspective makes this look worse, but even then, like, he's already got an anti-tank gun, so like a Sherman anti-tank would be able to fairly well deal with the Pentaforce there, and the Sherman would be more useful against the rest of what Iroha has, whereas against the Jackson, it's really only going to be good against heavier armor. It's going to, and well, I guess the flak half-tank. He lost his own anti-aircraft type to that, but it's obviously not going to be useful against the machine gun, the Kettenwerfer, the Obersaden, the Jägers, the Volksgrenadiers, the Sturmpannies, all that the Jackson's going to be effectively useless against because it just doesn't really do anything. So it is a bit of a curious choice here by Eisernes Kreuz getting everything. It's not like there's a significant armor presence. And it's not like he's seeing any significant signs that his opponent, like for example, is going for a King Tiger already, and then you're not going to see a King Tiger at this point in time. So I feel like the Jackson here is a bit of a questionable decision by Eisernes Kreuz. I mean, it's not useless, obviously. It's still a Jackson, and obviously it's got great range. And the key, you can see, boom, double shot, flak half track down, but at the same time, now what? So it's a bit, you know, I feel it's questionable. Not bad, not terrible, but, you know, a bit questionable. Fifth column away there for Eisernes Kreuz. I can soon go for the Panther. Could also go for the Jagdpanzer. Obviously, in the face of Jackson, a bad choice, but definitely going for something like a Panther stall for the King Tiger. Whereas the Jackson, your best bet is typically getting a lot of firepower and matching it that way, instead of presenting increasingly larger targets for it to focus down. Because that is what the Jackson is good against, large targets, not multiple targets. If your opponent goes for multiple Panther Force, for example, the Jackson's not that good. So there you go. Iroha going for the Panther 4 here. We got a straight one against the troops again. Iroha definitely needs to work in his habit there, bunching up the troops. There we go. Caught here on the retreat by that P-47. East side here, finding some pressure on the flanks, pushing perhaps for the fuel point. We also see a bit of work here by Eisernes Kreuz. The west side looks like he may try and push for his opponent fuel point. Honestly, he should, you know, have the captain rush for the fuel and then have the lieutenant grab the other point, but looks like he's doing it in reverse, which I guess works too. Best looking very, very intently on me while lying on the floor. And very, very softly meowing. Bart one of the sandbags, which were laid up because another layer of Bart was ahead of them. There you go, Panther 4 mode yet there for Iroha. Ground loss and fuel, disrupting Iroha's fuel flow. Eisernes Kreuz still filling that bunch of map. I mean, Mortar I think would still be an excellent addition. In particular, on a map like Langraskaya, light artillery is good. It's just good. Major being mauled by the Volksgrenadier. In the west, we got troops pushing forward here under Iroha's command. Penta mounted MD-42 being added to the Panzer campaign field. There you go. Jackson shoot through straight through the rear of the Panther 4. Nice shooting there. Pearson's rifle gets the Volks got the MD-44 moving up. Panther 4 could do some light repairs here for Iroha. Now we'll see, does he go for Shem? Does he try for the Calliope here, or is there something else that Eisernes Kreuz is planning? He's going for the Calliope. Could be reason again one for the Jackson, like he wants to just focus on these specialists in either range. Again, can work, but also has its risks. Now the P-Fus and Rocket Strafers again. Iroha repeats that slightly awkward pattern there for the push forward and covering the machine gun. There you go, Barnhand Grenade. There's some drive got pushed back. Got the M4 Shem Calliope out there. One of two rocket artillery tanks in the United States Army in World War II. There's also the Whiz-Bang, which fired larger but fewer rockets. Fun fact. Base they're being hammered. Could have tried at least getting a bit closer there with it before bombarding here. He's getting maximum spread, which does mean, of course, it can do more damage, but can also do a lot less. An additional side note, the Americans actually had a version of this with the rockets at least mounted on trucks that was known as the xylophone. Little fun fact there. Jackson, they needed some light repairs. West side here, push for Russian victory point. Panther 4 that proved to be a sizable obstacle there for the Major. Jaeger's firing away there. Well, Jaeger, the rest just like to encourage him. You can do it, Ludwig! You can do it to just Americans! And a howitzer, the leichte Feldhaubitze 18. Hier für Iroha. Fix on the Jackson. Panther was the Ralph squad, pushing it back. Fun fact, the Germans also had another 10.5 centimeter gun, 105mm gun. That was the Kanone, or 10 centimeter Kanone, which had a much bigger range, but also at a slightly higher level, I believe. So, little fun fact there, According to the current schematic I'm looking at, the range was significantly longer. We're talking, several kilometers more. Orbs on the expert battle raft squad here, Eisernes firing away. East side here, Jackson Calliope holding up. Calliope's ready to unleash another payload of death here upon Iroha's forces. This time looks like, infantry much closer up. There you go, a bit more of the actual rocket shotgun approach. There you go, full squad annihilated. Machine gun crew annihilated. The Orbs on there just kept close call there, but managed to wait with the timing just enough here. So now we're up to 10 kills here. That was quite the barrage, then again, just how powerful it can be. And we got another half-check versus Kreuz, another anti-aircraft mount versus Overwatch, though. Makes a ton of sense. Like, sector assault there is definitely very nasty. Then, if you're not careful, can easily, take out most of the aircraft very fast. But Overwatch, so again, having the aircraft, half-check range counter, that is a really good idea by Eisernes Kreuz. Another Orbs on squad Iroha, that's a very good addition, though. Replacing the full screens with that. That set needs more armor. It needs to come up with a plan as to how to really tackle Eisernes Kreuz, because the head-on attack could become increasingly difficult and painful. Also, he's got the 50 cal and a Sol MU-34, great for Eisernes Kreuz. Another problem here for Iroha, though he does have the howitzer. If it can hit, and so far seem to be firing into a effectively dead zone there, so there's nothing there from it. Bit of waste there for Iroha's howitzer's time. Also dealing with the advancing Lieutenant Captain packing here. We got 13 kills, 14 kills. Other Orbs coming up, adding the light machine to that as well. Howitzer slowly getting ready. Almost ready to fire another battleship from the Calliope. Also getting murdered out here. Panther on the roof shoots, whiffs, not whips, but whiffs. Jackson shoots, that was a good hit there. Another Calliope battleship against Iroha. This time showing the Ken Alpha and pretty much annihilates again. Rocket shotgun once more pulls through. Howitzer on ready to fire again here for Iroha. Can he land a better barrage this time around against Eisernes Kreuz, or will it be another, well, waste of munitions? Well, artillery shells, not munitions, and technically cost nothing to fire. Just reinforcing healing here. Not, of course, by this time in the war, the actual German army have not been able to afford, barrages like that. They were, in fact, in most cases, only able to fire like a few shells every day. They had to keep a emergency reserve in case things actually got really heated for them, because the German army at that point was just in such a huge munition shortage of artillery. Little fun fact there. Panther dealing with the Major. Jackson falling back. Howitzer firing again. This time we'll have to actually hit something. Another whiff. Yeah, not doing 12 with that howitzer there, to be honest. Close one, the machine gun there, somewhere. Close one. 183 to 347. Returning on the west side. Ace level 5 kills. Train to the Orbital down there, who may want to stay in heavy cover. Not entirely sure what they're out in the open. We got the second Orbital coming up. They're close to Veterinary Fleet. Pantherballs arriving here to assist. And with that, just Eisernes Kreuz completely backs off. But otherwise, he's just very much taking a slow approach here versus Iroha. He's not feeling much of a rush. He's just bleeding out his opponent. But in terms of forces and victory points, relying on the Calliope again, ability to like, get some good wipes if the opponent gets too close. In fact, he's close to it since one he can find another Calliope barrage. Howitzer is, well, reloaded by setting up for the next barrage there. Another Calliope barrage here, this time around the opposite, very close terrain there. No, he does just immediately retreat, tries to just walk them northward, stay out of the suspected barrage area and avoid losing them. Very good response there by Iroha, thumbs up. Storm Pioneer trying to flank for the south here. Caught. Should go for either deep flank or a northern flank here. Definitely should go for another Panther 4 and then involve the tanks in the assault there. And then the smart thing be to also involve the artillery and the sector assault. If you can just combine all those elements, I think would actually make a pretty good push here against Eisernes Kreuz. Ken Snug force, they got a hit on the Jackson. Opposite around the flank. Actually forces a collapse here for Eisernes Kreuz around the center there. We've got troops pushing on the west side. Panther pulling ahead here. Could try and go for the anti-aircraft half track there. Good hit from the Jackson. Blitzing here, which besides increasing the speed, also increase the rate of fire. Misses the half track there. Close call of Eisernes Kreuz.
Supply line just got cut off. Ready.
Panther almost knocked up. Western victory point grabbed here by Eisernes Kreuz captain. Back hit reinforcing healing. Howard's ready to fire again here for Iroha. Jackson there, very, very close victory to Calliope there with veterans who won 16 kills. Barrage around the enemy base. And another Panther 4 there for Iroha. Another Panzerkampfwagen für von Jod. Troops reinforcing healing. Need to fix up that Panther 4. Schnell. Captain there, ace level 17 kills. Game's good, kills in on the opposite side and the force of their tank through the captain, forcing him to retreat there. Well, into hell, I guess. The captain himself died. Opposite net gaining veteran 4. Iroha remains in a pretty awkward spot. Then again, needs to do something drastic against the opponent and really needs to aim that howitzer better. Like, that is his, I think, third, if not fourth barrage there, and so far has only killed a single guy. Building collapsed under American artillery. Panther 4 good to go. Second Panther almost done there for Iroha. Moving ahead by the Panther 4. Could be seeing a push here by Iroha being set up here. Also up north, being the infantry got 2 squads against the major corps planning some supporting element, not directly though, but just by mere presence. There you go. Panther arrives, gets a good shot.
Enemy forces have 100 points remaining.
100 points left in Iroha. Things need to change fast. Another Calliope barrage. Looks like another base barrage able to get lucky. In fact though, Eisernes Kreuz seems to only get unlucky, which is lucky for Iroha. Most Panther 4's got the mate, but there you go, engage here with Jackson. But there you go, Panther 4 to around here from the side, catching the Jackson in a bad spot. Anti-tank in there, not able to hit as well. Air support called in as well here. Situation turning pretty dicey here for Eisernes Kreuz. Iroha makes a go for it. There you go, combat blitz, damage, engine, but the air support rings on death. Could clear out the anti-tank, at which point Eisernes Kreuz will suddenly be actually pretty exposed. He's not calling additional armor, anti-tank guns, tankers, or what else. So he has no way of stopping the Panther 4s now. This is a huge opportunity for Iroha. Can he exploit this versus Kreuz? There you go, anti-tank destroyed. And Kreuz responds by calling another tank destroyed. The entire situation is going pear-shaped. Plus he's lost his captain, so he can't, you know, supervise in the Jackson fast. This is actually a very dangerous situation for Eisernes Kreuz. You should actually consider calling another captain just like and help supervise stuff up faster. But definitely mistake, they only rely on the one Jackson, the anti-tank, and here, and Iroha was able to exploit this beautifully. 2 thumbs up there, 2 thumbs up. The half track did knock out the aircraft, in this case just too late, and again just that Panther 4 dive. This time around proved out to be perfectly timed. Big infantry push here as Eisernes Kreuz also relies on swarm tactics. Panther 4 firing away there. In the center though, Iroha's lines are being pushed back here by Eisernes Kreuz. Both troops, and there you go. Panther 4 almost exterminated the lieutenant entirely. We've got 19 kills of T2 here. Infantry forcing the way from the center of the east side here. Fultz was caught by the 5th kill and halted. Howitzer could actually try and bombard that position. I think that'd be more useful there for Iroha to do with that howitzer, rather than trying to get lucky with the artillery barrages elsewhere. After being fixed up. Oh. Is he actually switching the crews? He is! 2 thumbs up to Eisernes Kreuz. I mean, sure, the anti-aircraft hasn't done much, but it's still better than nothing. Like, you know, it's close to Veterans 1 there. I mean, 2 thumbs up, really. That is nice to actually use that ability. Panther 4 being fixed up. Other one, of course, in dire repairs. Clive getting ready for another shotgun approach. There you go. Close quarters range. Obersalden here. Very close to getting wiped out. Surprised with the fact they didn't. Really lucky there for Iroha. Picks up the other Panther 4 and then he makes a good push for the Panther 4. So he could take out the other Jackson, at which point again Eisernes Kreuz is back in his previous position, which he's going to be up against, you know, multiple tanks and having no anti-tank guns or tank destroyers. In fact, he could be forced to go for weapon axe to add a bunch of bazookas, maybe. Except doesn't have, like, you know, any troops he can easily get bazookas to either. So, like, no matter how I look at it, Eisernes Kreuz's position is actually a bit tenuous, seeing as relying on just the tank destroyer. Air support called it again here. Called to the routed. We got 73 versus 339. Hard to find again there, retreating from the center. Hard to you got a kill! It's at 2 kills now. And this raid he might even get 3 kills. Troops enforcing healing. Calabi holding back here. 18 kills still. Half 8 to 82. Jackson fixed up. And they're just sort of staying at the half track. So, how do we get into that thing? Yeah, I was trained on tank destroyers, not half tracks. There we go, another Panther 4 for Iroha. I mean, obviously against the opponent just has a tank destroyer, maybe more. I mean, just going for Panther 4s is easily like the most just efficient choice. This very much becomes a numbers and DPS game, which one again the Panther 4s easily trump things. I mean, you could also go for the Jagdpanzer, but the Panther 4 is just more flexible as infantry. We got a Sherman out of Eisernes Kreuz. Good choice there. Louisa should have gone for that much sooner instead of the Jackson, for example, I think. Another kind of barrage. You're able to catch the Germans there behind the sandbag position to force them to retreat. There we go. Decimating here has positioned, flattening it.
All sectors. Ability now ready.
The Panther 4 almost done it for Iroha and the 9th Panzer Division. There we go. Sherman almost done their Eisernes Kreuz. And in sending up here for anti-Eisernes Kreuz, MU-34, 2 thumbs up. Orbison holding up, we got the Panther on the flank, Sturm Pioneer backing up, and there you go, Sherman out for Eisernes Kreuz.
We're losing a capture point.
Dead from the Jackson and the Panther 4, punch straight for the frontal armour. Veterans 1 gained. Another hit there. Till if I actually hit something, killed something, got 5 kills even. My God. Things are happening at a rapid pace here. 73 to 310. That said, Eisernes Kreuz might have been a bit too cautious, or too confident against Iroha now. And again, I feel like if Iroha just makes a good push, he could possibly break Eisernes Kreuz here in the Panther 4s, and particularly like goes for a blitzkrieg maneuver. But again, they just like zip right past the front line and use the high speed and high rate of fire just tear through, for example, the Jackson, at which point I think Eisernes Kreuz could very much be fudged. So far, though, Iroha is also playing a bit hesitantly. He is not willing to commit to such a maneuver. Now that he's in a more confident position, whereas previously, again, he kind of like had to do the risk losing.
Points are down to 300.
Half 8 to it on that one. Other Panther being fixed up. There you go. Something happening here, flanking up. Need to get the other Panther force moving. Could also go on some air support again. Howitzer is not ready to fire. Where the other Panther force? Iroha, forwards. Also should have combat place here with the Panther force. Definitely mistake, he did not. He's going to lose that Panther 4 without taking out any of the tanks. Finally got the other tanks moving there though, but definitely a bit delayed here. Almost got the Shan here, which exposed in the rear. No smoke in there. Ooh, fired at the 50 cal in the side of the building, which is almost wiped out. There we go. Panther 4 pushing through there. Sherman down. Bet you 2 gaining the Jackson, but the situation for Eisernes Kreuz is collapsing. Air support called in. Of course, need to be mindful of the anti-aircraft tower tech, which can swiftly plot those German aircraft out of the skies. There we go. One knocked out. Air support raining down. Attempted death in the anti-aircraft tower tech.
Being overrun.
No one taken out. Veteran 2 gained. Another one taken out. I mean, it's still they actually nerfed it with one of the more recent patches there, but it's still incredibly good versus aircraft compared to something like an Ostwind. Popping out the half track here to buy some more time. Panther will almost knocked out. Close to 53 though. Still, Eisernes Kreuz is in a pretty awkward position now versus Iroha. Like, he's losing more and more ground. He's starting to like push through. His tactics are also becoming a lot more reflexive. It's more like he's reacting to whatever Iroha's doing rather than trying to like force Iroha to track his movements. So initiative has been, I think, thoroughly lost, and I think in some ways, Eisernes Kreuz might be a bit rattled. 24 kills to Veti 2, but there you go. Hard enough. He's got 7 kills, almost 53.
A capture point is under attack.
Jackson being fixed up, half taking into repairs. Digging in with sandbags, thumbs up there to Iroha. Sehr good. And we got those Ace Obersoldaten with the MG-34.
Send your orders.
Just moving forwards. Who's on the rifle squad? Calliope firing. Shot fired.
We're at 200 points.
Whew. Really tried to kill that Obersoldaten there, even diving down there in death, but the Obersoldaten refused to die and made it back home safely. Though we did get a light machine drop there. We got a Jagdpanzer for Iroha now. Interesting choice here. Route getting blasted by that Panther 4 there. Forced to retreat. Eisernes Kreuz, they just head on attacks. No attempts to outmaneuver Iroha to catch him off guard. Also really needs more armor here. He desperately needs more armor, but he's just so short of things. He's going just at this point for more Jacksons. More tank destroyers. Sandbag in the center, and then you go another howitzer barrage here. Ambulance takes a direct hit. Takes another direct hit. Wow. Both shots from the howitzer hit the ambulance. Head on. That's impressive. But yeah, I think bomb's actually out of control. Just like, the last thoughts of the ambulance driver is like, oh my god, oh really, again?
Armor here.
Well, that's gotta be some phenomenally bad luck that guy had. Anyways, Jackson Thomas on there, Eisernes Kreuz, Jagdpanzer ready here for Iroha. Note, Jagdpanzers were typically part of a Panzer Division's Panzerjägerabteilung and were usually not part of an independent tank destroyer unit, which also existed, by the way. Those were in fact increasingly heavily equipped with either Hetzers or Stugs if they couldn't get Hetzers. Mortars were also commonly used in those. Panther rushing forwards here, half 8 to Vets into the fort, directed here from the Jackson. Second Jackson moving up. Air support called in. There we go. Yak punching hits here. 73 to 114. Howitzer is at max effect 33 now. There we go. Another shotgun blast here from Eisernes CoH2 Calliope. German 5th Cub crew there suffering the storm and getting wiped out there. 96 versus 73. Nice shot from the Jagdpanzer. Second shot that also goes through, hits the Jackson there. Another strength run here from Eisernes CoH2 against Iroha. But he's just not really going anywhere. Like, he needs to come up with some different level of attacks around just trying to constantly attack head on into his opponent. Lost another unit there, by the way. Almost got the Veteran 4 Panther 4 here with the Jacksons, but is once more forced to disengage. Infantry is also starting to become a problem there. Eisernes CoH2 only 2 squads, his opponent with 4 to 5 squads there, depending if you count the Sturm Pioneers or not. Jackson that keeps up the hunt here. Going for those Panther 4s, but again leaving the soldiers open as targets with the Jagdpanzer. There we go. Air support called in again. Half track knocked out, meaning there's nothing to stop the Luftwaffe here from just tank Eisernes CoH2 tank destroyers apart. There we go, another tilt strike there. Jackson somehow surviving the encounters here with the Luftwaffe. 49. Close getting wiped over the howitzer. 40. 37. Truck for Iroha. Not that it really matters at this point. Another Calliope battleships. Eisernes CoH2 is, I don't know, it's just doing it out of sheer desperation and frustration. I don't think it's going to make any difference at this point. 19. I guess he's just going to run out the clock. The victory point counter. 13. 10.
We're down to 10 points, damn it.
Quick straight around there again. 7, 4. 1. And GG, a loss here for Eisernes CoH2 victory for Iroha. A fierce and intense match here on Langraskaya. I mean, Eisernes CoH2 had a lot of the advantage a good deal of the time, but I feel like his force composition had some issue getting focused too much on the Jacksons when they weren't really needed. Would have benefited from, I think, other artillery besides the Calliope, though again, he did make good use of it. They'll make no mistake, but I think there's more they could have done there. Plus some grenades, I think, would also been an excellent addition for Eisernes CoH2. He could have more things to do with his munitions against Iroha. Iroha definitely struggled at the early game, but again was able to exploit here Eisernes CoH2's force composition issues and then just push him back steadily. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. This is Imperial Cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.